Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome back to another Behind the Group podcast. I am DJ Keo.
And I am Basil Barrington, and we are back with another review. Silo, episode number 3, Machines.
Yes.
IMDb gave it an 8.3. This show
That's the
thus
right
far,
score.
that's the right score. This
That's the
show
right
thus
score.
far, wow, I just love the intrigue of it. I love the way it
Mystery.
looks. Yeah, the mystery. I love the way
Mhm.
it looks, but sometimes some of these sequels are kind of dark and I can't see what's going on, you know?
Yeah, it's got a grimy, earthy feel, like it lived in.
Yeah, and it's just like, I have a really good TV too. I have great TVs, but I'm just like, I
Mhm.
gotta turn the lights all the way off. I gotta mess with like the setting, the brightness. I'm like, what is this all about? But it is
Yeah.
really, really good. I was asking you that in the opening scene
Mhm.
when Jules was on a rope and they had all this water like below her,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
And we were alluding to the fact that, was this silo built inside of a volcano or what was it, right?
It's something. There's something going on because they got
Mhm.
steam and they got water.
Yeah,
Lots of water.
lots of
But
water,
like
dude, for
they've been
real.
underground so long, they have no idea what the top of the earth looks like, which is crazy. That's think about it. It's got to be what, 2 generations or 3 generations. Well, they have no idea because they
Mhm.
they started count after the rebellion, and that's 140 something years after the
Yep.
rebellion.
Mhm.
So how much was it before the rebellion? There's no clue.
Yeah. And,
So
and
yeah,
who
the
and who
people, it
built
could
it
have been
too?
like, yeah, say like it could have been like 20, 30 generations. Who knows how long it's been?
Yeah. That's
That's wild.
it's very interesting, man. And this entire show was really based on one, trying to find a new sheriff. And
Yeah.
two, just fixing this generator.
Mhm.
And you would think
Suspense
that,
of this show is crazy.
right. So, and I was about to say, you would think that, oh, looking for a sheriff and fixing the generator,
It's
that doesn't
boring.
sound too interesting, right? No, it's
Oh
suspenseful, the
no.
drama, the whole nine. I had no
Yeah.
idea that the mayor and
Mhm.
oh boy was like in a relationship. Did you
Yeah,
realize
he's
that?
on his shoulder. Like, yeah, I didn't know that
Hmm.
either. I didn't catch that. This is the thing. We got to go back and watch the first episode again. I think there's gonna be more clues when the season's done, but I did not know that they were dating. I didn't pick it up.
Right.
I
Hmm.
was seeing all this other stuff, like the judge. That's a whole interesting thing with the judge there. And when I was watching this episode, I had a question. I wonder if you spot this too.
What?
Where is the criminal element in the silo? Because there should be. They said there's like over 10,000 people there, right? There's
Hmm.
got to be some people that decide to be criminals down there and trade contraband or whatever, something illegal. There has to be. For the judiciary to be this strong and strict, there has to be some kind of pushback on the other side. So where is the criminal element? Like the
Yeah.
most they had was when they shut down the whole generator was the guy was lost. He didn't know they were going to shut down. That was it.
Exactly. Hmm. And
They
they
had
did
the other
mention.
thing. You see the couriers, right? They got to be moving stuff around. Something has to be going on here, whether it's
Yeah.
drugs or I don't know
Hmm.
what it would be, but there's got to be a criminal element here,
Yeah,
like some
and
kind of kingpin.
you do see people, they do have relics, so that is a criminal act just having a relic. So, and they do have
Yeah,
gels, right?
yeah,
It's
yeah.
something
There's
I was
jail
confused
there.
about. It's something I was confused
Hmm.
about though. And like just give me your thoughts on this, right? So they have
Hmm.
these levels. They have like the mid level, the lower level, and then like the upper level. So there obviously there's a caste system here, right?
Yeah, it's what
Um,
two. How many levels is it? 150, 200 levels.
okay, so check this out. When
Hmm.
they started to walk down to,
Hmm.
the mid level, I'm sorry, the lower levels where the generators were, that was
Yeah.
143 levels down. When they were walking down, they pointed the camera up. It looked like it was an
Hmm.
additional 200 levels up, right?
Yeah. So yeah, this thing is way bigger than we know, and it
Hmm.
seems like people are in a certain section of the silo, not the
Yeah.
whole thing.
Hmm.
As far as I can tell, but that could be like movie magic or just TV framing, whatever. I don't know,
Right.
but it seems like the silo is enormous, way
Right.
bigger than we realize.
Now, okay, so let me ask you this here because again, I'm a little confused here with this one, right? So they were saying
Mm.
like, with the generator, if it failed, then 10,000 people would perish, right?
Yeah.
Because this silo is so big, 10,000 people doesn't sound like a lot of people. Do you think they were talking
Mhm.
about 10,000 people on the lower level only?
I don't know because it doesn't seem clear exactly how big this. I was wondering the whole time watching, how big exactly is the silo, and because they're doing very strict things about birth and whatever, and like everyone's getting this stuff in them so that they can't get pregnant on purpose,
Yeah.
and it seems to be like they're regulating that very strictly. So I don't know if because it seems narrow, but we don't know how wide the levels are.
Hmm.
That's what I'm saying. Like you just we're only showing the stairs and like the first building there right next to the stairs. But like it could be like super wide
Yeah.
and as well for each level. Because I don't 10,000 people on 120 levels or 150 that's too many people for that thing
Hmm.
for the same that many floors, unless the floors are super wide, and because like we kind of got a sort of view of it when you saw the schematics of it, but it wasn't really clear, and you don't really see everything. I don't
Right.
know, like where people are living, is that floor wider or is it the normal floor or how like it's kind of confusing exactly about that, but
Yeah.
I would think that we do know for sure the silo's way bigger than they show us on TV. We know that, and it's way deeper than they're showing us too.
Yeah.
Because
It's
when she
really
found the
deep.
water,
Hmm.
that was like a ocean almost, or at least a giant lake of water. That's a
Yeah.
lot of water right there.
And you would think that the water has to lead to the outside too, right? You would think that,
Yeah, it's got to
right?
come from somewhere.
Yeah,
It's connected to
exactly,
something.
right? And it's just I was just confused about that. Like, is it 10,000 on
Mm.
the lower levels or is it 10,000 in the entire silo?
In
If it's
general,
10,000 in the entire silo, that's not a
mm,
large population. It's
is
not.
not. But like
Yeah.
if there's multiple silos, then 10,000 makes sense.
Right.
If there's like 40 silos, whatever, and each one had like 20,000, whatever, 10, they got to 10,000, whatever the number is, that
Hmm.
makes sense. Because I definitely think, and that's still my theory for a TV show. I don't know, because this is based on a book, so I don't know about the book,
Hmm.
but I definitely think there's other silos for sure,
Yeah.
just
Okay.
based on what we're seeing so far.
We're 3 episodes in. Have you seen like any elevators in this show or not?
Oh, it's all walking. Everybody has to have great cardio in this show,
I
especially the
was about to
couriers.
say, I was like, okay, so if you're walking down, so if the mayor and the sheriff, or at least one of the deputies, were walking down to the lower levels to see,
Mm,
like, to just check out jewels, right?
mm.
140,
There
143
should
levels
be
down,
elevators.
right? Like,
There
how
should
are
be
they getting
elevators.
back up? Are they walking? Wow. So,
Yeah, they're all walking, but I'm saying there should be elevators. That part didn't make sense to me.
mhm,
There should be elevators. Whoever designed that would have had put elevator. If you build this elaborate thing with the generator, and you got air and all this other stuff, and they got place for cows. They have like farming areas. There should be elevators. It makes no sense there's no elevator unless it got broken. And they had to. We're gonna learn that in the future about why there's no elevators, but there should have been elevators.
right. Because someone was saying, like, if he had to go down, like, to this specific level, it would take
Mhm.
him like at least a day and maybe some rest and everything. I'm like, wow.
Yeah, like that. This shouldn't take that long to do 150 floors. This shouldn't take that long. But like, how? That's another question I had. Is like,
Mhm.
like how many stairs is in between each floor? You know what I'm saying? Like that.
you know,
I don't know. Because it
these are
seems
the
like the
questions we
each floor
need
is
to
high.
know.
Yeah.
It's just
Feel like
like
because my brain starts doing schematics. I'm like, they got answers and stuff. I need
it
to figure this
only
thing out.
only Apple can think of a show like this where the everyone
Mhm.
in the show is in shape because all you're doing is walking. You know,
You have to be.
no obesity like in a silo at all.
Yeah, you couldn't because you're getting rations for food. Unless again, criminal underground. That's the only way you get more food.
Yeah,
So there has to be like a fat kingpin down there just eating
right.
everything.
The
Just
the
Jabba
other
your
thing
hut.
the other thing is I haven't, like, 3 episodes in, we haven't seen any sort of like entertainment places, like, just little bars or clubs or anything like that. We haven't
Mhm.
seen that. Like you said, we haven't seen any drug use. We have seen relics,
Yeah,
but that's
yeah. They
it.
got wine though. They got lots of wine
Yeah, but the
and
bottles are
brandy and
dusty
stuff.
as anything, so they're not making new wine. It's just like, okay,
Mhm.
so, it's probably really nicely aged because of, how things are. But I mean,
Yeah.
this show is really cool, man. Again, I think it's only Apple can like, read this script and say, you know what, this is actually kind of interesting. Let's put it together and let's do it this
Mhm.
way. Only Apple can do
Mhm.
that. This is a really dope
Yeah, yeah.
show. What do you think about Jules becoming the sheriff?
That's an interesting pick. But again, because I haven't read the book, I don't really know
Mhm,
why. But like, it makes sense because she's smart and she's self aware, especially about the world, about what's going on with the building and structure, whatever. So I think it makes sense because she's looking for information about something. I think it's clear going outside is a terrible idea. Like
mhm.
that's not, they're not lying about that. They are lying about what the world looks like though.
Yeah,
Because I think initially when they went into the silo, yeah, you got to keep people from wanting to go outside because of it's just fresh grass. People are like, open the doors, let's get out of here. So
mhm.
like that totally makes sense to make it look desolate or whatever. But the idea that they're instantly gonna die the second they go outside, they have to maintain that. They have to keep that going.
Yeah,
There's no way that the people like 10,000 people are just gonna be like, okay, fine. Like if they don't see that the outside is all dusty and everything's destroyed, they feel like this is the better place to be.
right.
Now, the question is, and again, I gotta go back to I don't know about the books, but
Mhm.
do people eventually have to go outside? Because like if this thing broke down, they're gonna have to go. Like you were saying, the generator, they would have to go outside
Go
whether
get
they want
parts
to
or
or
something
not.
like that, right?
They're gonna
Mhm,
yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, because like I had a question about this when I was watching this show with the generator.
mhm.
They didn't have any extra fins to put on this generator. They had nothing. Like, how long has this thing been going on? I'd say it has to be like hundreds of years, that like longer, like 400-500 years. This thing has been running.
Yeah. So,
Because if
I
they're
mean,
run out of parts, because
mhm,
if they had the part there, they could have easily popped it in. It wouldn't take the 30 minutes or whatever. It wouldn't have been a
right.
big deal.
Yeah, well,
It's got to be like hundreds of years.
but you know what? That's actually a very good point. Like the judiciary is doing
Mhm,
everything they can to discourage citizens from one wanting to go outside because if you do, you will
mhm,
die. And the
mhm.
other thing they're doing is they're maintaining the lie. They're saying, hey,
Yeah,
you can't do
there's a
these
lie
things.
somewhere.
Right, exactly. You can't have
Yeah.
relics. You can't go outside. If you do, you're not coming back in. You will die. Look, when people go
Mhm.
outside, they show the entire population how people die. And then
Yeah, instantly.
and then they keep those people out there. It's just like when you look outside, it's just like it's a bunch of dead
Mhm.
people out there. At least that's what they're showing them anyway, right? And so I'm like,
Yeah,
oh,
yeah.
this is kind of it's a little it's a little bit political. I was watching really quickly. I was just
Mhm,
watching YouTube and it was just like someone it was a MSNBC or I'm sorry, a Peacock political show and they were
mhm,
saying the politics of Andor. And they were this guy, ooh,
mhm,
he broke it down. He was basically saying that Andor
mhm,
is is much of a poli sci more so than a sci-fi show. And he broke it
mhm.
down. The politics in Silo is kind of the same way. You have your
Yeah.
lies, you have your fear, you
Mhm.
have just what you're feeding your population to keep them, at a distance or whatever.
Yeah.
What's behind the judicial door? Because like when the mayor and the deputy went down and they saw the door, and I'm just like,
Yeah,
what's behind
they
the
want no
door?
part of that.
Right,
They wanted no part of going over there.
exactly. So it's just like, oh, what's going on? And then speaking of the mayor, how did she
Mhm.
die? How did she die, dude? How did she die?
That's a good question. That is a good question because
Because she had
that's
all
another
of this
thing that I was
stuff on her
wondering.
mouth. Hmm.
There has to be disease down there, and so that's the kind of thing that would be a problem
Hmm.
because everyone's there. It's close knit. You're all circulating the same air. Disease has got to be a colossal problem down there. So if she's got like some kind of outbreak. Whew, like you
Yeah.
can't do anything about it. You can't quarantine.
I
You're all
mean,
breathing the
dude,
same air.
if COVID broke out in that joint, forget about
Whew,
it.
it's a wrap. It is a wrap.
In a silo, forget about it, dude. It's so
Yeah.
weird, but the way you know, when they ran that scene with the mayor and the
Mhm.
deputy, I
Mhm.
thought that she was maybe about to have a heart attack, which is why she went into the bathroom, right?
Yeah, well, you can see her writing. She's like it seemed like I thought she was having a stroke. Cause
Yeah,
she's writing, she couldn't finish doing the
right.
signature properly.
Mhm.
And then like she got blood in her mouth. That's something else. That's a whole
That's
other
something else,
beast.
dude. So she was being fed something, at least, or something. Like you said,
Oh, it could have
they,
been poison too.
yeah, I
For the
mean,
judiciary. Like I didn't really think about it till you just said it, but that could have been she could have been knocked out of the paint because she did the wrong thing.
well, yeah, think about it. The judicial wants their own
They wanted
sheriff.
other
They
dude.
picked the sheriff, right?
Yeah,
So you would
yeah.
imagine they may probably also want their own mayor in place too. So that's how you sort of like consolidate power,
Mhm,
is you get rid of all those people who don't agree
mhm,
with you, who don't have the same views as you, and you put your people in
mhm.
place, and now everything is set, and that now you can
Yeah,
continue pillaging your own population. So I don't know. It's kind of weird, but it's also kind of interesting.
yeah. They don't. The thing about the judicial is that they don't want anybody asking any questions about anything.
Yeah.
Like maybe like how long we've been down here. Is it safe to
Hmm.
go outside? Like anything. So why are we down here in the first place? They don't want you asking any questions, which I think that stuff is gonna fester and get out of control. Like you can't keep that going forever. Like somehow, like you could do the fear of doing a walk outside, but enough people were like, "We're not gonna go outside. What are you gonna do?" Because the mayor was talking about like you gotta remember what the key is to get the bullets out, just in case. Like
Right.
if when they shut down the power, it's like just in case. But like it seems to me that judicial has some really good information about what's going on there. I think they're passing down that information, and
Hmm.
so I wouldn't say Common knows. I think Common's just a cog in the wheel, but somebody in there knows exactly everything about the story, the official story,
Yeah.
and they prefer if people are dumb and forced to go outside if
Hmm.
they ask any questions. That's better for them
Yeah.
versus the official story, which is that to me is interesting, and I want to see where this goes.
Right. Now, when Sheriff Becker died, they basically
Mm,
say when something like that happens, the sheriff,
I guess
makes a
choose.
recommendation. Right. Exactly.
Yeah.
Um, so do you think that when the mayor was writing something down, you think that also, applies to the mayor as well? And because of that, who's the next mayor? Who is the next mayor? Who's going to take over?
Well, that's the thing. She was talking about retiring, so
Right.
there's two possibilities here. Either she
Hmm.
was poisoned, or she was just sick and she's hiding her sickness for a long time,
Yeah.
and it's just her time. Those are two possibilities. But she was talking about retiring with the sheriff, and or whatever, getting out of getting a store or whatever next to
Getting a
him,
shop in the market.
a little shop in the market.
Right,
Who
exactly.
can afford to buy pictures? Like but anyways, yeah, there seems to be something going on. I don't think the mayor knows anything about the official story either. I
Mhm.
think it's just I think the original sheriff's wife knew. She knew something. The
Yeah, she
computer
knew
guy knew
something.
something,
Mhm.
and he died. And now what's the Rebecca? I forgot what's her character's name.
Who's?
Uh
Jules?
Yeah, Jules.
Mhm.
I think she's about to be on to something. Because, like,
Yeah.
what's the thing that she gave that old lady? Was that a camera? It looks like a camera.
That yes, so yes. So she said, "Once you find out something, let me know."
She just said, get it, power it up, and
Mhm.
just look at it. Like, I think she's gonna
Yes.
open up his screen and she's gonna power it up.
Listen, man, on a lot of these
It's
relics, I bet you it's just
interesting,
a lot of information from before this thing was built. And again,
which
that's
is
the whole
why they
intrigue.
destroyed it.
Yeah,
Yeah, well,
exactly.
there's a reason why they destroyed it. Because I think there has to be a way to survive outside.
Yeah,
And that they just don't want you to know because the stuff they're giving you to go outside is they're putting duct tape on a regular suit for air. That's
that's
not
it.
that's
Yeah,
not like somebody should have been like, I need an extra layer on my whatever. Like you say, like somebody has to have thought about that. And
yeah,
the
that's
fact that
true,
they're just
man.
giving you a regular suit and just hey, go outside, tough it out.
Yeah,
That
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 doesn't
doesn't
work.
make
Mhm.
sense. Yeah, I don't
Do
know
you think?
why, but you.
Mhm, go
Oh,
ahead.
go ahead.
I was gonna
No,
say,
I'm just saying, like, you need some kind
mhm.
of radiation suit, and they just give you oxygen. That would
Yo,
make any
you know
sense.
what? Okay. That's what I mean. So we have these discussions, we have these reviews, and it's just like we're asking
Mm,
questions, we're going back and forth, and it's just like
yeah.
we watch the joint, and then we start talking to each other, and it's just like, what about this? What about that? What about this? And it's just like, wow, okay. And then when we watch
Mm,
the next episode, a lot of this
mm,
stuff sort of comes together, right? Just us
yeah.
conversating, just chatting about like the episode we just watched, and I'm just like, there's a lot
Mm.
going on here, man, that we don't know. And this is 10 episodes, so we're not even there yet.
Yeah. There's a lot more intrigue going on
Yeah.
and more mystery. I really like this show. Like the way it's done, the pacing is good. Like we just saw an episode where she's a mechanic is trying to fix a generator, and I'm at the edge of my seat, like, oh my god, he's gonna get it done. Who's gonna
Hmm.
die? Like I thought someone was gonna die. Like, but that's good pacing and good story writing, just to make the mundane seem interesting. Because that
Yeah.
seems like, from the perspective of the people inside the silo, they're just out for a couple hours and then their business back as usual. So
Right.
like it's more interesting if you have good actors and you have good storytelling and present it to people in a good way. Like you really felt for her when she went down into the where's the valve and she's
Yeah.
pouring water on there to cool it down.
I
Like
was about to
and
say
she
something
started
about that.
drowning. I was like, oh my
Yeah.
god, this is
Hmm.
crazy.
That was that scene. I didn't know what to think about that scene because if
Mhm.
you're pouring water on a steam valve, right?
Yeah, the smoke would that would knock you out. Right?
Or it could explode, for real.
Yeah,
This is
well,
like
that's
just
also
heat.
true.
Yeah, so it's just
Yeah.
like, so I'm just like, but it was still kind of
The
cool that it sort of
mathematics wasn't
filled up.
there, but yeah, it was interesting though, but the mathematics wasn't there.
Right, because it filled up. Where's it draining? Because she escaped, but the water's still
Mhm.
there. So I guess maybe the steam will
I
like
think
take care of
I
it.
think it'll evaporate
Hmm.
when the valve opens up. I think all that water will probably evaporate and just
Yeah.
turn into more steam.
Hmm.
But no, it doesn't say like it was a compelling scene. Like it made you interesting in what's going on, and you were rooting for her, which I
Hmm.
think helps tell her story when she goes up to be sheriff now. Like you're rooting for her to figure out what's going on. And again, this goes back to good story writing. You make people you care about the people. Like I cared about the mayor. I was like, oh no, the mayor's sick. We like the mayor. Mayor's a good person.
Yeah.
And
Hmm.
even the other sheriff, I was like, oh no, like what's the sheriff gonna do? That was his girlfriend. Like it was like you start caring about people, and this is good story writing. Apple's knocked it out the park with this show. This is good sci-fi right here.
This is really good right here, man. Do you think that before we wrap this up, so we know the mayor isn't
Mhm.
coming back because we saw blood. She's not coming back. Do you
It's a
think
wrap.
that
She's done
Becker
for.
and Allison are coming back? Because we don't know what happened to them when they went outside. Do you think Allison and Becker may come back?
No. I think they're dead. Dead. I think they're dead. That this is it's a wrap. Go ahead, because it goes back to the thing. They're not. They don't have the proper thing on when they're going outside,
Hmm.
which I do think somebody does inside the silo. Somebody has the proper suit to wear to be outside, and
Hmm.
they're somewhere. Somebody has it, but they're not telling anybody because they don't. They're not protecting for the correct thing. Like they just have like a
Hmm.
regular suit on for oxygen and not for radiation or whatever that is. Like I think it's probably like an airborne thing,
Hmm.
and they don't have the proper filter on the suit, and that's why everyone dies when they go outside immediately. Because the other
Wow.
thing is that you don't want people going outside and like, it's fine, everybody, just walking past that camera. You need them to die immediately, because
Yeah,
that's a problem. If that person makes it up the hill and they're still good, that's a problem,
it
especially because
really
everyone's
is.
watching. So you need them to die the correct way. So I think maybe they puncture holes in the suit. Maybe they're doing something to the suit to make it ineffective. Something's going on here, and that's not it's good storytelling. It's a good mystery, and you worry about it. Once you start worrying about characters, you're hooked. You're in the show
Yeah,
from here on out.
yeah. I'm not sure. I'm not sure about Becker and Allison. I'm
Mhm,
not sure. I would. It would not surprise me if
mhm,
Becker and Allison were alive. Maybe outside is toxic. Maybe the writer
mhm.
said, you know what? We're not going to make outside toxic. We're going to put our own creative twist on it. I know, like the
Well, that's
book
a good
people go
point.
crazy. right?
Yeah, that's a good point.
Mm-hmm.
But the thing is, though, we know for a fact outside is computer generated. We know that
Right. Yeah. And
because
why
when
do
the
we know
power went
that?
off,
Right, exactly. Right. It was
power
just
went off,
like,
and we saw a split second, and that lady looked up and she's like, "Oh,"
mm-hmm.
and she just put her head back down, like I didn't see nothing.
Right.
The way she looked down, it's like I didn't see nothing right now. That was
It's
very
also
interesting.
it's also and you said something earlier. You said wait a minute, this generator they've had the same generators for over 150 years, whatever. This joint
Mhm.
hasn't broken down in 150 years until now.
Mhm.
So based on that, this is the first time that the all the lights were out, you know, in the
Yeah,
entire silo. Like,
yeah.
wow, really? Okay.
The
There
engineer
is
said that's the first time. I think it was very because the IT guy was livid that they turned the power off because
yeah,
he knows about the screen.
he knows
He
something.
has to know.
Hmm.
He has
Yeah.
to know about the screen.
Hmm.
So he was livid that how dare you guys turn the top power off? You idiots! Like you know what you've done.
Yeah.
This is
This
this is
is
very interesting.
this is very interesting, man. This is very intriguing. I don't even I said this offline that it feels a little it's the production value is almost like a really good HBO Max show.
Mhm.
However, I'm gonna take that back because Apple is a bit snootier than HBO Max, you know.
This is true.
Yeah,
They have a
so
certain level clientele and a type of people audience they want to reach.
yeah,
That's for sure.
very good. So Silo, episode number 3, machines. What are you gonna rate it?
I give it 8.5. I am hooked on this show right now. I am
Yeah,
excited about everything that's going on. It's
yeah.
well done.
Yeah, I'm giving it an 8.5 too. This is a great show. We generally, because this today is Friday, we have to watch it in the
Mhm.
mornings, right? I
Yeah.
also watch it at night because this is a great night show, isn't it? It's just like,
Yeah,
you
yeah,
get your
yeah.
stuff
I was like
together, you
last night I
know?
watched it on my phone and I woke up again and watched it again on the
Yeah.
TV. But I was like, I was just on my phone and laying in my bed. Like I just had like this. That's why I could see the water better because the
Okay,
HDR of the
okay.
phone was up.
I gotta watch it on my iPad then, dude, for real.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, this is a great show. I mean, this is as intriguing as Foundation, as Extinction.
Mhm.
These are Apple TV shows. Just
Yeah.
again, just interesting drama, a little bit of sci-fi, great
Mhm.
characters, great writing. Well, we both gave Silo episode number 3, Machines, an 8.5.
Mhm.
Great show, Apple TV original. Go check it out. Well, there you have it. Another episode of the Behind the Groove podcast. I am Basil Barrington.
I am DJ Keo.
Thanks for listening. Thanks for watching. And until next time, peace.
All right.